Maggie to the rescue!
Hey everybody, Maggie's here in a sea of miniature items today because we're going to talk about creating a peddler doll out of any doll of your choice. Thank you, Maggie. You can have a seat. So I'm going to show you how I turned this vintage travel doll into a peddler. Her cloth face was stained, so I repainted the whole thing. Of course, I made her have side-glancing eyes with long eyelashes and rosy cheeks and little highlighted lips. And then I added all sorts of little trinkets, household and sewing items. I love her old fabric. It's really nice cotton, and it just seemed perfect for a peddler. So travel or souvenir dolls are great for this. So are china dolls and also wooden peg dolls. So I think of peddler dolls almost like Easter egg hunting. You want to be able to look for little surprises tucked here and there. Here's some little lockets that I strung on what is really a strand of little red beads. The locket opens and closes. And here are the laces and sewing notions that she's selling. I added a crocheted square and a tiny pair of scissors, fun to find, and forget-me-nots, and a basket of yarn, and a little needle book, little glass bottle, a faux key ring, and a key, and a little tiny Perry and frozen Charlotte, and a broom, of course, the pan. So in the 18th and 19th centuries, there were traveling salespeople who brought goods and knickknacks and song sheets and sewing goods to people who couldn't easily get to towns and shops. So peddler dolls were often dressed in clothes typical of the country women, like printed cottons, capes, hats, and bonnets. And often the dolls were, and actually are still, displayed under a glass dome. I love the china versions, and I have an alphabet body china doll that I plan on making into a peddler in the future. So I'll show you some of the things I collect to use for peddlers and presentation cards. Some tiny frozen Charlottes. I forgot to include these in my frozen Charlotte video. Be sure to check that out. It's actually my husband's favorite video of mine. Look at that. So amazing. A lot of peddler dolls have frozen Charlottes on them. And here's a bag of little brass items. I'm always on the lookout for miniature objects. So wonderful. Not totally sure how I'd connect all of these, but some would be easy to connect with thread, like the candlesticks, but the little dishes and plates would be harder. Maybe I'd connect them to some felt. And here's a little box of china items. A lot are just from Michael's. That's a store here in the States. I'm not sure if Michael's is in other countries. It's a craft store. I love little china pieces. I've never had a dollhouse, and I hope to someday. The mother of one of my best friends had a beautiful one. She was a really sophisticated lady, so it helped me to see that it was okay to still play with miniatures and dolls. Milk pitcher, so sweet, easy to add on with thread. And this metal looking vanity piece is actually made of plastic. Don't know what it is, but I like it. This little plate is metal. Another lovely little pitcher. Smaller baskets are great to collect, to hang on the doll. So as a young collector, peddler dolls weren't even on my radar, but when I was about 14 or 15, my mother gave me a little paper mache one, probably made in the early 20th century, and I fell in love with her. She's so sweet and charming. I'd show you, but she's in Atlanta where I grew up. But it's so funny how some dolls just have that special thing and you just connect with them. and she just changed how I felt about peddler dolls. So the wooden peg, or Grodnertal, I don't know how to pronounce it, Grodnertal doll. I found one in a thrift store that was super inexpensive. She was in a terrible outfit, like a very modern fabrics. And so I took those off, and she just spoke to me. She said, "I want to be your peddler doll." I actually did sell her on Etsy, but anyway, she told me she wanted to be a peddler doll, and I found an antique outfit for her, and it just flowed, the little items for her, and it was just such a wonderful project. I made her little bonnet, and I hope the person who bought her adores her as much as I adored her and putting her together. And here's my box of little things. Some I made, some I bought. Again, I also love making replicas of antique presentation cards, so I use these little items for both. Little eyeglasses. So I made this little book. I made two. Actually, I think I made three. I made a scan of an antique book and then put little pages in. I think they turned out really well. That was a bee in my bonnet project. I can only do something like that when I'm obsessed with it. Here, Maggie. Same with these little tambourines. Little mirrors. Old store stock puffy hearts and brass lockets. I got those from the seller on eBay a while back. Little dollhouse vanity set. Estate sales are a great place to find these kinds of things too. Glass flowers. I have a collection of small baskets. You might even have a junk drawer of things that would be perfect. And you can easily make a headscarf if you don't have a cloak or a bonnet. Here's the little bandana I hope to use on my Flatsy doll in my last video, but it was too big. So I know many of you sew well, so you could just make her outfit. And I would recommend using old or antique looking fabric. Here, Maggie. I feel like Miss Peddler and Maggie are getting ready for a picnic. So I hope this inspires you to take a doll that might be a little boring as is and give her a new life by giving her all sorts of little wares and trinkets, and maybe gift her to someone who needs a little pick-me-up. Thanks for watching and for your support, everybody. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more show and tells and doll rescues to come. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Like and subscribe. Thank you.